is one of my favorite holidays because it involves theme design. And with me, it's always all about design, even when it's a little scary.
Hello, my name is Freddie Hernandez. I am the lead set designer here at Enigma Haunted House Attraction in Boca Raton. Making haunted houses has been a passion of mine forever. Coming from the Midwest, the fall and Halloween season is really big, and that's where I've gotten my foundation from.
I'm looking forward to sharing some tips on how to make your Halloween extra fun and frightful on today's SoFlo Home Project. Welcome to SoFlo Home Project. I'm Alena Capra. So we are touring a little bit of a different kind of home than we normally tour today. And if you are not ready for Halloween, which is a week away, do not fear. We have got you covered. Today we have expert advice on setting the scene with a spooky backdrop, last-minute costume ideas that incorporate face masks, decorating for Halloween with the theme in mind, and so much more. Freddie, so welcome to SoFlo Home Project.
Welcome to Enigma Haunted, Alena.
This is a different kind of house than we normally tour, and this is going to be a haunted house kind of tour, but we're going to talk a little bit about what Enigma Haunt is. So why don't we first share with our viewers a little bit of background of what you could find here.
Well, Enigma Haunt is probably one of the largest indoor haunted house attraction in South Florida. We won countless awards. We've got 3 haunted house attractions that are about 20,000 square feet. It takes you anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour to walk through, and it's very immersive.
So when you are creating these theme sets, where do you get the items and the pieces that you use?
We actually do a lot of dumpster diving, believe it or not. We make use of everything and anything we can.
You turn trash into haunted house treasure.
Yes.
And I can't wait to see how you've done that. So this is a kind of feels like I'm in an asylum of sorts, a different kind of bedroom than we normally tour.
Yes.
But I could tell a lot of creative thinking went into this space.
Yeah, but this is our dormitory. When it first goes up, it really looks nice. But then we come in here and we just go crazy on it. We try to make it look weathered, distressed, abandoned. It's something that you would find in your nightmare.
You bring that to life.
Exactly, yes.
Through design, through great design.
A lot of the paint techniques that we use here is like creating rust out of sawdust, mix it with paint and create our own kind of rust effects. These are older beds from a prison. We get things that donated by our actors that are getting ready to throw away.
And I love just like the doors and the detail, like you pointed out. It's the feeling of you got rust, and so it's creating these things like in the wall behind you, the dripping of the blood and all of the things, and the graffiti and the scary sayings. That's just about just letting your imagination run wild.
And there, a lot of them, we just take our actors, actually, we give them markers and we give them paint, and we tell them to go inside and just go crazy.
So this really has its mark of a lot of different people who have worked here.
The props that are behind you and everything are homemade. They're all,
everything down
built,
to the mannequins. I mean,
mannequins made with pool noodles, actually pool noodles and chicken wire and bubble wrap.
No way.
Yes.
So they're not actually, wow. So, and then, of course, with the clothing on top, it looks like real people.
Yeah, the whole thing is to try to get their attention away from where the actual scare is going to come from.
So it's a little bit of a decoy.
Yeah, it's a diversion. It's a diversion. Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to see where all of the actual scary part comes in, because this has got me when I walk past like at least 3 times. I'm like,
that's probably one of the best, most realistic props that we have.
As an interior designer, for me, no matter what the space looks like, haunted or regular designed room, you could tell the detail and the level of detail that's gone on here. And I love that because there's so much thought. It feels authentic, it feels totally scary, and I can imagine when you add the actors into play that it's even more so.
It gets really, really bad.
Well, we shall see. And you're going to show our viewers how to do some sort of last-minute Halloween backdrops for their own parties or home decor.
Yes.
And we are going to learn how to do that when we come back. Coming up, we have fun projects with a frightful impact.
I'm Tat with FHIA, and we're going to take a look at why all metal roofs are not made the same, so you make the right decision for your next roofing project on today's SoFlo Home Project.
Welcome back to SoFlo Home Project. I'm Alena Capra, and we're here at the Enigma Haunt with Freddie Hernandez, the set designer. Freddie, you're going to share some of your secrets, which is going to be cool for our viewers to learn how to make a backdrop like this, which I think Halloween's coming up. Sometimes it's great to be able to do that sort of last-minute fun project. So let's start with the basics of what we need to kind of create this backdrop at our own homes.
Okay, well, this backdrop was made out of underlayment with
feel the frame here, yeah.
2x3 frame behind it, and it actually has an A-frame, so you can put it in your front yard, put it anywhere, and it actually, you can leave it alone, it'll stand up straight, right.
So we got the frame, but you made this look like sort of old-fashioned wallpaper. We got the chair rail, sort of, this looks like an antique mirror. What parts do we need besides the A-frame and this frame here to create this?
Well, we may have paint from inside your house, which is, you know, you don't have to spend any money on that. These pieces of what look like wood, like the frame, were actually made from just cardboard.
Simple. So you're making these with a lot of things that you said that don't cost a lot. Probably the biggest expense is going to be
the wood. Is the biggest expense, and it was maybe $30 in total.
Wow. And then stuff like this, where are you getting all these props?
This is actually made from everything from a dollar store.
See, I mean, that's what it's really all about. To our viewers, this is the way it could be like a fun DIY without getting costly.
Correct.
And then you've got a lot of the things we need here. Should we go through sort of all the other items that we would need to make this happen?
Yeah, actually, if you want to, let's start with the mirror.
Okay, simplest part, right?
Right.
So we got one here.
So this is like from the dollar store. It's very.
I buy these serving platters all the time.
We just go ahead and spray it from far away, give it a nice rustic look, like it's aged. And then what we did was the same thing from the dollar store. These little, very inexpensive, cheap skeleton hands.
Yes.
So in order to get from this to that, we take it and we actually cut it down. When I go ahead and cut it, I like to make sure that wherever I cut it, I line them up, so when it comes time to hot glue them back together,
okay,
you actually know what fingers go where.
That grip.
Correct. And it's actually really strong. Once the hot glue goes in there,
so you're just gluing it all back on to kind of create this hand, give it a little bit more scary factor, like it's coming to grab you.
And if you wanted to, you could almost position it like if it was holding the candlestick.
That's cool too.
So, and then what I do is I actually pre-drill out of a piece of 1x2.
Okay, so you're going to want to get a strip of this?
Yes. Okay. Really inexpensive. I think this is like maybe $1.50. And cut it into the pieces that fit in here.
Okay.
I actually pre-drill it on the front, and then the hole for when I actually go put it, because what happens is...
So we'll hold it.
It'll actually, when you try to drill it without pre-drilling, it'll split the wood.
So these are the pro tips, okay?
Yeah.
You gotta know these things before you start.
Exactly. And then what I do is actually, after it's spray painted white, what I do is I go back with black.
Okay.
And I just give it a wash. So basically,
all right, so getting a little, some of that's still peeking through.
Correct. So what happens is the black will go into all the cracks and crevices where there's shadow, and then just take a rag.
Okay.
And just go back and you wipe it off.
It's cool. It gives it a really good color.
Right. There's a dollar store candle. It can hold up to that.
I love that.
It can hold up to a heavier one. It's that strong, and it's actually one screw.
So that dowel support is really important, because that allows this to truly be like a sconce candle holder.
Yes.
Now, the rest of the stuff.
What I did was I took a piece of paper, and then it's spray mounted onto the wall. And then, and then we go ahead and paint it to look just like the wall. That's why the pattern, you try to make a very simple pattern.
So you just taped this off here.
Yes. Yeah.
Painter's tape.
Right, but you're not taping up after you paint this. You're not actually taping off the paper, because it'll rip the paper. So if you go ahead and rip right here.
So how far up?
You can as far as you want. You can actually feel.
Oh, I could see. Yeah.
So it kind of gives it that feel of the wallpaper being peeled back. Right. And then what I usually do is, to give it an age feel, is I'll go back with a little bit of black spray paint.
Okay. Love it.
And then the other paint technique that we do is every wall in here, if you look around, it's all aged and tattered, torn. So we do this thing called, we distress our walls. So there's a water bottle. You got to make sure that it's on a mist. I'm going right up here, and at the top, go ahead and run your brush all the way around down the edge. right? Pull it down just a little bit. But basically, the cool thing is you're letting the water just do its thing.
Look at that. So it really doesn't take much technique besides the spray, and you run it right across.
And you can actually take your brush and you can actually soften these runs. You can actually, you can just pull down on them.
Oh, this is awesome. So this is how you get that look that I've been seeing all around.
Yeah, we use this everywhere. We go through,
it's
I
a
don't know how
simple
many
technique.
gallons of water.
This is looking good, and I feel like a really easy thing to put together at home. But we got something here that looks a little more complicated, but pretty cool. And you're going to show us how to make this, right?
Yes.
But first, let's check in with Tat Granata from FHIA and see what he has for us today.
There's a reason why we chose this particular installation for today's segment, and the biggest reason is because it's probably why we got into the metal roofing business in the first place. When we started to investigate different types of metal and talk to a lot of different manufacturers, one of the things that kept coming up to us was the fact that if you live close to the intercoastal or close to salt water, that you won't have much of a warranty with metal roof. And we asked the question to the manufacturers, well, aren't most families that make the decision to put a metal roof on their house under the impression that they're doing it so that they never have to do it again? To which they replied, they're under the impression of that, but it's not necessarily going to be the case, and it's depending on how the metal is ordered and what type of metal is ordered for it to have the longevity that the homeowner is originally looking for. And this is a great example. It's because we're doing this installation here and we looked at a few different metals when we talked to the homeowner, and they chose aluminum for us to use here because where they're located here on the intercoastal, we certainly have access to salt water, and we wanted to make sure that this is a roof they'll never have to do again. And with the aluminum product, we're not going to have the corroding that can affect so many metal roofs. If you do something with the steel or something that would have exposed fasteners, you could start to see corrosion over time. So they made a fantastic decision, not only with the aluminum product, but also with the standing seams so that there's no exposed fasteners, which means the fasteners, how it's down into the roof, isn't exposed to the elements. It's more covered so that, again, just as important for the aluminum to last, but it's also really important for the fasteners and how the roof is attached to the home to last as well. So with the decisions that they made, they're not only going to have the roof that they want and the desired cosmetic look that they wanted, but they also are going to have the chance to make sure that this will never have to be done again. And it's great that we had the opportunity to meet with them and really educate them on every product that was available so that they made the best decision for them. Back to you, Elena.
Thanks, Tat. So Freddie, I think now the big question is how do we create something like this at home? So what are we starting with? Just one of those plastic skeleton?
Yeah, any kind of skeleton you get, I mean, they sell them everywhere.
So what do we need?
Okay, so this here is just a regular skeleton. So what we do is we actually take some spray mount again.
Okay.
We use a lot of this stuff here. Right? So you would spray it. You would take, this is actually a drop cloth, or you can use saran wrap.
Okay.
So basically, you would stick it on there.
Kind of just like mold it.
Right, and you would keep adding it, you would keep doing it to the different areas.
And the more wrinkles, the better, really.
Correct. You want to make it look like aged skin, like the skin has been, basically he's been buried and he was dug up.
Okay.
Or he crawled out, it just crawled out of his grave.
So we're not looking for perfection here. You're actually making it perfectly imperfect.
Actually the messier and the more wrinkles you have, the better. So like if you wanted to hole through the eyes,
okay,
or through the nose, or if you wanted to make it look like tendons, you would actually melt it even more. So basically what you're doing is, as you're melting it, it's actually almost like shrink wrap.
Ah, that's so cool. I'm stepping back because I'm keeping my 6 feet, but also my pants are faux leather. So I'm not sure how they're gonna hold up with the heat gun. Now, can you use a hair dryer, or is that not gonna be enough heat?
No, it's not hot enough.
So you need a heat gun to get this melt.
Yes, it'll melt it right to it. Just be careful.
Yep.
Obviously, you don't want to burn yourself. You don't want to hurt yourself.
And so this is good to do outdoors in a ventilated area because we're spraying and stuff, so pretty much an outdoor project for the most part.
Yeah, okay. For the most part you want to create it outside in a well-ventilated area. So then once you got something like this.
Look at that, that looks cool.
Depending on what color you want to make it.
Okay.
The same way.
So you did red, but you could also make it like real decayed and
real
go
decayed,
darker.
and you do it in layers. The whole trick is to add layers. So the more paint you add, the different colors you add, the better it'll be.
So you'll do like a base coat and then you could let it set and then do more?
Right, and then what we typically use is we use varnish.
Okay, so it gives it that kind of glaze.
Correct, that glazed little look.
Okay.
So basically
you'll set it to dry a little bit.
Set it to dry a little bit.
Sponge it as well.
And then you can actually sponge it, And then what you're doing is you're just taking off
Little bit.
little bits here and there to give it that feel.
Yep, gives
that aged feel.
Yeah.
And we use this technique in our catacombs, all our crypts. This is the technique that we use.
All right, so behind the scenes right here. This is from the set designer himself. We're learning a little bit on how to create these things at home. Coming up next, quick costume ideas that incorporate your face mask. Welcome back to SoFlo Home Project. I'm Alena Capra, and we are here at Enigma Haunt, and we're joined here by Tori, the lead makeup artist here at Enigma Haunt. Tori, welcome. It's so great to have you back with us.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be back.
So you did some incredible makeup for me 2 years ago when we did our Halloween show, and I mean, your talent is incredible, and so I just want to know what you've got planned for today.
So today I am going to make you a zombie using stuff that everyone can find in their house.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And I see there's a mask here. So
Yes.
are we bringing that into the look?
Yes, so you will be wearing this mask. I also used cotton balls, a piece of paper towel, and this liquid latex.
Very cool. So I'm going to take a seat so you could start getting to work and share with our viewers all of your talent. Of course, safety is always something we're
Absolutely.
thinking about now, and this is such a great way to not only bring in makeup, but bring in safety.
Absolutely, for sure. We're gonna go ahead and put that on real quick.
So Tori,
So-
why airbrush?
It's just easier, it's quicker, it's faster to blend, and especially nowadays, it's a lot safer to use. Yep.
And how many people do you make up every night at the haunt?
Usually between 60 and 80 per night. Yeah.
That's a lot of different looks.
Yes, it is. Okay, open your eyes. Feeling good?
Yes.
All right, cool.
Scared to look. Oh my gosh, wow. It's starting to look familiar like the last time we did this. Oh,
Yep.
we're doing the hands too.
We are. We're doing
We're
the
going
hands.
all out.
We're going all out.
All out.
So if you don't have an airbrush at home, Q-tips and
Okay.
just regular makeup brushes to blend, you can get a really cool bed and eye palette, like a bruise wheel or burn tones, and even eyeshadows you can use. And then of course
Okay.
you can get the fake blood, especially this time of year. You can get it.
Contour is pretty serious.
It's coming along.
Tori, this is awesome. You're working-
Thank you. We have one more surprise for you.
Okay, it's going to be an official look,
Yep,
right?
yep.
And we are going to see the entire look that they put together here for me at the haunt when we come back. Next on SoFlo Home Project, I'm all dressed up and ready to go. I'll see you at the haunt.
Oh, you must be lost!
So welcome back to SoFlo Home Project. We are so close to finishing this look. Tori here is doing an awesome job. What are we adding, more blood?
Yep, just a little more blood, a little more dripping.
So that's what it's all about. Is too much is never enough with the look.
Yep, nope, never enough.
I love this one piece thing here. So it was easy to just throw on. It was just the right choice.
We have an awesome costume team here, and they do all the detailing and all of the shredding and distressing, and
So that's
they're
really
just
what it's all
fantastic.
about.
Absolutely.
That makes it extra scary.
Yep. All right.
Oh my God. I love it.
Think
So
you're all done.
am I ready
You're
to go?
all ready.
So this is the final look. Okay, Tori, thank you so much. Your talent is incredible.
Thank you for having me.
We hope to have you back again because I'd love to see what you're going to do next.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And we're going to check out the rest of your work and all of the creations from Freddie and the team as I head through the haunt. It's time. But before we do that, let's take a look at what design inspiration we have planned for you next week on SoFlo Home Project. We look at luxury design trends. Get ready to explore the fabulous amenities that create a lifestyle of comfort. jump up. We made it. Freddie, I've never been so happy to see
Welcome
the
back.
end.
You survived. You survived.
I survived, but wow. I mean, the costumes, all of the details, like everything we talked about that you guys put into it here.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Awesome. So thank you so much, and thank you for scaring me. I think our viewers might even be a little scared, and I really appreciate you kind of giving us some tips and also letting us tour this incredible haunted space. And I know there's a lot more.
You're most welcome. We're most welcome. Love having you.
Happy early Halloween, and to our viewers at home, thank you so much for joining us, and we hope you join us again next week for another episode of SoFlo Home Project right here on Local 10. And remember, there's no place like SoFlo Haunted Home Project.